Okay, so as usual, I'm gonna start with the dollar index and just go from there. There's not many setups looking for next week. There's only two pairs I'm mainly focusing on, maybe a third, but two pairs mainly. I'll just go through that. So obviously we just start with the monthly here. So I hate because you can't get data before that. It makes it all awkward. So the monthly, if you look at this, we took out last month's low, right? And so like maybe this is a wick and we could get expansion to the upside. Now I will explain why I'm looking at the monthly. Now I mean it doesn't say much, but I'll go into detail why, especially regarding the euro. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna mark this out, okay? And what I'm gonna mark is the low of this monthly candle. It's a little thing I do sometimes, and then I'll just go into the lower time frame and see how price in the lower time frame reacts around that level. So I'm gonna do this in a different color, a really thin line as well. So the low is 94.27. I'm just gonna explain how I start from the monthly and try to refine my levels. And sometimes it's useless, I'll draw this monthly low and it means fuck all, but it doesn't matter. We'll see as we go on. So then I'll go down to the weekly. Now obviously we've got this low as well, so let me just mark it out. The reason why I do it to detail is to the pip I try, just makes it easy for me, and I'm a bit OCD like that. So low is 93.78. 93.78. Okay, got that there, and this is last month's low. Okay, but you can see it like a sell model. Okay, so imagine shorting, imagine it's a 5-minute chart. It's come down, it's took that slow. Now sometimes, right, a lot of people, they get overwhelmed because it's a monthly chart. It doesn't matter. Whatever I would do on a 5-minute chart, same thing. It's just a chart, isn't it? Who cares if it's monthly, weekly? It just means there's more pips it's gonna give. If there's a 5-minute chart, it's probably show what 10 pip range, but because it's a weekly chart, it's showing like a 100 pip range. That's how I see it. So it's funny how little psychological things like that play with people's heads. Okay. Yes, it is fractal, that's right, Pete Farmer. So okay, we're taking this low out. Now there's two areas I'm looking at for this dollar index. Now we've got this daily block here, right? So say if this is the low, assuming okay, we've come down and we made a low. So it's like sometimes you get these simple patterns, low, low, 3 drives sort of down, and it's taken out the level on the 3rd try and then ripped up. Now see this you could call a swing high, right? High, and then a higher high, and then a lower high. So like a 3-bar fractal and a swing low. Okay, so I'm thinking, okay, you could say this may be a break in market structure. This is all hypothetical for now. Now if price unfolds the way we want it to, then we know we've got plenty of room for it to go further and play. You can play intraday trades based off the higher time frame flow. So what we're trying to establish is where is price trying to reach for. And then when you know what price is trying to reach for, you can get an entry. So okay, let's do this. So then I'll go around and I'll draw this. Okay, this is the daily block. Now we've also got, we can say this is a mitigation breaker block. So let's go to the 4-hour. Say okay, this could be like a breaker, isn't it? So bullish candle, and then that led to the sell-off that took out the stops. So price could come back to here, and then we've got a little one here as well. So if you draw that across, this has helped here. I personally would prefer it to come down here, but we'll have to see, because sometimes I look back at price, right, and I think, okay, sometimes price doesn't come back to the block you want it to. It could just come back to a reclaimed block. Has that happened before? So where in the past has it happened before where it hasn't come down to this block, but it's carried on? So here, so if you look at this example, it's formed a low, down, down, down for the 3rd time, and then up. So a lot of people are probably expecting for price to come down into this block, right? Waiting for price to come back to this block, and it doesn't. So it just takes off from here. So this is a little example that it could happen. It doesn't necessarily have to come back to the block. You could find buying elsewhere. So I mean, within this candle there was buying. Let's look. See that? So I would consider this a block as well. They were buying here before, weren't they? So I'll have quite a few levels marked out, and then I'll just wait I'm not gonna crowd my chart with shit and so many blocks with that block, that block, that block, fuck that. I just have this marked. I'll just be aware of it. Okay, so we've got that, and then you just go down to the other the majors to confirm if this dollar is holding at whatever level you're looking at, because on the majors that should be reflected, especially fiber and cable. It should be reflected in that. Okay, that's come to a block as well, or the cables come to a block. So okay, let's just go forward and before I start confusing myself now. So far, is everyone clear? Everyone clear so far? Try and go as slow as I can, as much detail as I can as well. There will be time for questions, okay? So if you got questions, just save it. But I just want to make sure if it's clear, because I don't want to carry on confusing everyone. So I am keeping an eye on this now. I'll go down to the lower time frame. So like I said, I love this daily block marked out anyway, because if it does go lower, then okay, it's not a surprise because I already got that level marked out. So let's go down to lower time frame. What's going on here? So we've come down to this block here, right? H1 block. Now can we refine that a bit more? Sometimes I like to refine it because we have these little inefficiencies on the lower time frame. I like the 15-minute time frame. Now I see why ICT likes the 15-minute time frame. I don't know why, it just works wonders sometimes. 15-minute time frames. Like, it's not too small, but it's not too large either. But anyway, so it's come down to this nicely. This can be refined, and look at that. So that daily we drew. Was it daily or weekly? Sorry. That 4 hour, the top of that to the pip. See that precision there? So that shows me a good sign normally. So if I'm seeing that fall, like obviously this is hindsight, but it doesn't matter. We want so if you're not confident on this, let price go to the level you're expecting it to, and then let it anticipate a reaction you're expecting. And if the reaction you anticipate happens, then that's a good sign, because once the block is formed and it dips back down, then whatever you're planning, is working. So you just wait for it to give you the opportunity, dip back down here or whatever, and then get back in. So okay, and if you go to the 5-minute, I'm gonna draw this out here. It's a 5-minute block. It's nicely into that as well. I'm just gonna get rid of that for now. So I'm gonna stick to this level of drawn. So okay, so if this is the case, then we're looking for higher prices, and ICT's talked about this as well. So I'm gonna be regurgitating some of what he said as well. So if this is going up, obviously we know market likes to fill in the inefficiencies, okay, and we've still got, I see this as really clean. See this here, clean as fuck. This is longer term, obviously, we're ages away from it, but I like to have my liquidity areas marked out regardless. I like this as well. Alright, so it's looking at these, it's come back down, and then if this is the low, then we expect higher prices now. So my first target is going to be obviously minimum targets, like I said, this block here, right? But I'm going to just even go there. There's the block, but I'll just say this is a little support level here. So that will be enough to give me a trade. If I'm correct, enough trade. I can take my profit. If it's still going to go up, then you can leave a small amount running. Depends on how you play it, but at least if it's going to give me an opportunity, I'm going to take advantage of it. If it's day trade or not. And I just day trade nowadays anyway, so that's all. I'll be happy with just this. So that's what I'm looking for on dollar index. So yeah, I've basically done, that's what I'm looking for really for now, and then we'll see. I know ICT talked about this levels are getting above there. But I'm thinking, because if you look at this, right, made a high, low, high, low. Notice each swing high hasn't been tested yet. So those that short, right, when I see something like this happen, puts me on like alert. Hang on a minute. Those that shorting, I know it's a daily, but those that shorting, they haven't really been tested yet, have they? Each swing high, the stops have been taken. So they're short, and then obviously they'll be trading the stops, trading the stops, trading the stops, trading the stops. They've had a fucking easy ride. They haven't been tested yet. It's only here now, on this daily, now they've taken them out. So it puts in mind, it's come to a higher time frame level, taken the stops, rejected. And you can say, well, this could be like a block as well. There's plenty of reclaim blocks here. This, here, and but you see like a turtle soup. You can see on a daily, possibly. So I'm thinking this could be like a little breaking mark structure, and we're ready to shoot up. So that's dollar index covered. Okay, I'm gonna move on to cable quickly. And what I'm gonna do first on cable is I'm just gonna go over quickly the trade I took. Okay, so obviously it's high. So what happened early Monday, last week. Monday morning is ripped up, and have you guys watched that video I did? I posted it, I think was it yesterday, about you know, how I played range bound environments. So when market's ranging, you know, you can see what's going on. So what's this? Typical buy model. Buy model into a block down here. And then, so those that are long, their stop loss is gonna be, what's it? The low of the week. This is why, you know, the low of that day. So the low and high of each day and weekly previous week's highs and low, they're really important for me. And look at the significance of the low of the week there. Rejection, took out the stop. So we took out the long, we took out the shorts here, and then back down. And then did we close in 50% of the range? Let me check. Yeah, more to say just 50% of the range really, isn't it? And is there anything else significant about this? Well, we've got this. It's come right to the body of the daily, right? So, I mean, would you be surprised to expect bearishness? Because it is a bearish block. Personally, I think this is going lower. I think it's coiling up. Now, obviously, I'll draw basic chart patterns to like just show me coiling in a chart. You can see it's like a little triangle. So you can see price being compressed into this now. And it's just a matter of time. So what they could do is, if they want to manipulate the Euro GBP, they could like just sort of compress this, not let this move too much, and let the Euro move, right? And then I'm going to get into detail about the Euro and Euro GBP and why I like the Euro for next week. So we've got this daily block, and obviously it's come off this bullish block as well. So it's supposed to be between this two. So the range is from there to there, and that to that as well. So I'm not too keen on taking cable next week, but things could change. But so we've got to the daily block, so we're anticipating bearishness, and that's that. So you're clear on the cable, right? I'm not going to go into too much detail on the cable, but I marked out what last week how I played the short. So when I shorted it around here, it was around 30, and then my target was here. I think I did post it, but cable, you know, it's not. I think this is probably going to hold on, continue lower, but I'm not as confident in this. If it does give me a nice setup intraday next week, I will take it. Anticipating higher dollar, so bearish cable next week. So we're clear on the cable, right? I will go into detail on other pairs, but this is a basic off. Yeah, I mean, it's come off there, and I'm expecting lower prices. That's cable, okay? Nice, the Euro. I'll do the Euro GBP first, then I'll do the Euro because I want to go into detail with the Euro. So just by looking at this, right, I'm just thinking bearishness. I mean, it's coming down. Obviously, we are bullish, you know, the bigger picture is bullish, but I'm expecting this lower. So what I will do is I'm gonna mark out this block here. I like this block here, right? So even short term, I'm looking for lower prices. Now let's look at this, right? So what did Euro GBP do? Ripped, right? I see this liquidity here. These highs here. It's coming right into this bearish block here. How many times do we see this? Stops taken, price coming into a bearish block all the time. What I'm going to do, I'm not going to mark out the block. You guys can see that. Okay, this. Let me just do, for example, for this sake, so it's clear. All right, so we got that. You guys can clearly see that, you know, the stops have been taken. Yeah, these highs got taken into a block, and what can we expect? Down move, right? So far so good. Now I'm gonna look at the monthly here. Now see this flat monthly open. What happened? Do you guys remember when last week I did a review on the dollar CAD, and I spoke about a monthly candle like this? So open is open. So let's switch to this view. Open, rips up, call that, say, the Judas, because it takes out the stops, and we've seen it taking out these stops. These are significant. That's a weekly level stops, and then price is starting to come back down now. Now I'm saying it's going to expand beyond the opening, right? So I'm going to do the rest of this candle in a different color. So the black is what's happened so far, and the orange, what color goes with black? Do the red. The red is what I'm anticipating. So expansion of the down candle. I don't know, maybe close down here or something, but it's not happened yet. So this is the open here, and look back at your charts, right, and tell me how often do you feel flat levels like this? You always find some sort of wick at least, right? Even if it just wicks a bit, I can work with that. I can work with price coming down lower, and I've already talked about that. I'm expecting price to come down here. What is it reaching for? Lower. also, what is this price actually coming off of? See this here, that's a breaker, isn't it? Because this level, right, this level here, this black line, we talked about that. This was the weekly, right? So I'm gonna let me just make this darker so it's like stands out. This black line here is delineating the highs here, the stops that have been taken, and you can see that. So what led to that? Going to the daily. See, we just play with the daily right now. You should all be just playing with the daily charts. The other time frames, you know, you just want for your entries because the daily clears everything up. The daily. So bearish, they're buying in this to push market up above the stops and drop back down. Naturally, what's gonna happen? Those that are buying, they're gonna take the market back up there, unload those shorts, and hopefully continue lower. So far, so good. So that's what's giving me a bearish bias on the Euro GBP, and you know, yeah. So yeah, that's so Euro GBP is clear, right? Before continuing to the Euro. Okay, that's good. So that is just me playing off the daily. Now obviously you just wait for your session times, London Open, New York Open, and you guys know what setups you're looking for anyway, so you should know by now anyway. I'll wait. And so this is that line of ruler, and look how nicely price is respecting that. It's coming off of that level. See, there's a block here. Nice, sold off again, and slowly starting to make its way down now. So I personally think that this block is gonna give way, but I mean I can't say for sure. But if I'm correct on the euro, then I think this block is gonna give way, and there's gonna be liquidity here. And look at this. And has he touched this? So let me draw the high here is 78.30. It's gonna make sure. It's gonna check something. 78.30, right? The low is 78.31. Okay, I can say he's touched it. I mean, those data discrepancies. But personally, I think it's gonna come down, and I think we're gonna take out this level here. I think we're gonna take out this. I know it's a daily block here, at least this. What gives me confidence is I'll talk about the euro and why I'm bearish this euro. Okay, let's talk about the euro now. Let's run up into this block here. This is the bigger block, obviously, but let's mark this out. I'm gonna get this try to get precise as possible. So what's the high of this candle is 90, and the low is 83. Fuck's sakes. What did I just do there? High is 1.1490. 490. 383. Let's go to the lower time frame. And the 50% is here. Obviously it's breached it, but has breached the 50%. But I mean, if I was looking at this on a, like, if you say this was a 5-minute chart, I mean, I know ICT says this, and I'm not gonna change anything, so I would never do that. But say it's a 5-minute chart, I say this is a little breach in it. I don't mind that little breach, but it can't close above it. Can it close above that 50%? It's failing to close above it, and then it tries once more, takes out this, and then gives up, right? So you can see that clearly. So I've got that marked up there. Now going lower time frame, what's this? So we've got this here, right? Similar play with the Euro GBP. Buying, great, and then break through, breaks down, retest that, unload those longs, start putting shorts on. We've got a lot of inner voids to fill in on this motherfucker. See, this thin to fill in, all this to fill in, and look how clean this is, man. Come on, that's gonna get taken, man. So, you know, and we've got ECB next week, which could be some sort of trigger. Could be completely wrong with this continue ripping, but so far I'm going to be bearish on this. Now let's go down. Now how can we enter this? Now you see me do a little scalp to get, because I took a loss on Friday, and then I didn't want to close the day with a loss, because every day I've been having a profitable day. But see this here. So when we refine it down, So this is why I go to the lower time frame. If I was looking at the higher time frame only, now I did let myself a bit thing I was a bit sloppy. My trade was a bit sloppy that day, but I had a tight stop and so risk was small. I didn't wait for the price to come up there because during the London Open I thought, okay, prices run up, right, taking out the Asia highs, and it's come back into the block, and I thought, okay, it's gonna go down from here, and I was up about what 15 pips, and then I was wrong, and then it just rallied up. What should have been my a warning sign was when price starting to hold this, it's taking out the lows, and the dollar still had a bit of downside to go. I'm thinking, okay, if price doesn't want to go lower, it's gonna obviously either gonna consolidate or push higher. Now, what you want to do is mark out reasons for it to push higher. If it doesn't want to push lower, then look for reasons for it to push higher. Well, we've got these highs here. It's Thursday high, and we've got this bit of range for void to fill in, and we've got this H4 block. And zooming in, we've got this. So now what I do, right? If I'm in a trade, this is how I mitigate my losses. By the way, I'll go into that as well. I know I said before I'll do a webinar on it, but I can just cover it now. So we've got that 4 hour block, and you only want to be trading off the key higher time frame levels, the 4 hour and daily. Anything else is going to be noise. I mean, obviously you can trade H1 blocks, but you'll often find these H1 blocks within the flipping daily block or something like that. So this is the 4 hour block we've got here, right? And it's rallied up into there. So because market came here, and when I got stopped out, that just shows, okay, now they want to push the market higher, and the reasons I've given the reasons now. This liquidity here stops there, and range fill, and it's coming back to the higher time frame level. I'm anticipating if this was say a Thursday, I would have held this. I just wasn't comfortable holding position over the weekend, and it's not going to bother me because I can always get back in if I'm correct. And this got massive downside to go. You know what I mean? Yeah, so it's got massive downside to go. But so far, is everyone clear, right? Clear how I'm looking at the euro, and I personally think we're going down. This could be so I'm anticipating a sell model. This is the beginning part of the sell model, and I think it's gonna go all the way down and take this out. Could be wrong, but this is what I'm thinking. So this is what, and then they bring in the Euro GBP. This is why now you know why I'm so I'm looking for lower Euro GBP prices, and I think even if cable goes down as well, I think Euro is gonna be the one that sells up harder. You know what I mean? That's what I'm looking. That's what I'm looking for. So yeah, so basically so I'll quickly run over how I mitigate my losses. So this is how I'll do it. So say I shorted it here, whatever reason, it's come down, and then it's come down, taking out the lows. I'm thinking it's either a breaking market structure or a stop rate. I don't know yet. It's come back up, shorted it, comes up. I'm wrong. Now it just tells me, okay, I say to myself, okay, now if it wants to push up, what is the reason for it to push up? What is there for them? What is the reason? What is there for them to push the market that direction? I look for higher time frame levels. Okay, is there a block up there? Is there stops up there? Liquidity, and then I'd say, okay, is it giving me an entry? I did. This wasn't the clearest of entry, I'm not gonna lie, but at the same time, you can look at cable. What was happening with the cable? So around this time, cable was respecting that as well. So what you can do is look at the other majors and give you a clue. If they're all going up, then obviously that means fucking dollar's going down. So at the same time, cable was giving this. He gave an entry there, and he gave an entry here, and then there. So probably cable was the clearer one. And you have this, although it was in the day, it was already in the day block. You know, price, you'll notice, often likes to go for the body of the candle, right? And you mark at the body, and it just so happened that this was the high of the day, ADR as well, and the ADR and the euro hadn't been met. So this was early in the day, New York session, and you know that market still has juice in it until London close. Really, it still has juice in it, so they okay, you can still get a New York session close. The shorts were wrong, and this is how you mitigate it. And now I didn't take this because I thought after the loss I didn't want to trade, but when I saw it come up to there, and then it hit back up there, I go, fuck this, I'm gonna take this. Is a no-brainer. And this is how I think I can't remember, I shorted around here. I only took about 13, 14 ticks out of it just to cover my loss. It did go a lot more, but as long as I'm positive for the day, I don't care. And that's how I do it. So is that, I know it's quick, brief brief overview of how I mitigate my loss, but that's how I think about it, and that's how I mitigate it. Does that make sense? So if the market doesn't want to go in the direction you're anticipating it to, so if you want to take the market lower, But if you're thinking the market's going to go lower and it's not going lower, then what are the other two scenarios that can happen? Well, it's either going to consolidate or go up, isn't it? Obviously, you got the other templates, the Z day and that, obviously. But just assuming that, you've got good reason now for it to continue up. That's how I mitigate my losses. That's how I do it. So hopefully that, then what you can do is just apply your own shit to it. You just go back and, use ICT's templates. They're really useful. Look at the type of day is that can unfold. For example, this day I posted a template. I genuinely thought, okay, we got clean lows here, and then this will raid up, and I thought this would go down. I was wrong, but okay, happens. So that's clear, right? So my main play for next week is going to be the euro dollar. So despite getting stopped, you kept your bearish price as long as that H4 didn't get taken. Which one? You know what? Can you just save that question? Let me just quickly get through the other 2-3 pairs, and then I'll take all the questions. Okay? Save that question. Okay? Ask me that in a bit. Now let's go to the dollar CAD. So the last time when we spoke, dollar CAD was doing something like this in it. So it was at the body of the candle, and now I said we're gonna get expansion, and we got the expansion, 250 pips. Yeah, I called it. But yeah, so that's lower down. Now we do have this monthly block here, right? It doesn't necessarily have to get to the monthly block, because many times, look at this. So if you were like looking for longs, and you would say, okay, let price come to this monthly block, and we'll take off. It didn't even come to that monthly block. You know what I mean? So it's coming to here. So this you could say where it's maybe a mitigation block here. It's taken out these lows here. So if we go to the daily, maybe a bit clearer. This has come to a daily block here. Doesn't necessarily have to go lower, but it could. If you make a lot of the oil driven is a dollar CAD, but if it gives me a long setup, then I would like to take a long on this. I do think the risk reward is really good. So it's run down, and then it's come take out those lows. It's run market. Then this is showing these buyers have entered the market, right? And it did pierce this block. It didn't go through this block, and it's come down, taken out these tops. Go to 30-minute. Now look at the bullish flow on this now. So I want to see, is there flow? The bullish blocks getting respected. That gives me a clear view. So there, bounce, and then go lower. Everything this block, and it's ripped up. It's taken out this, and then. So what I'm hoping, I know it's probably a bit thing, but I'm actually hoping this holds here. Could probably go through whatever, but if this holds, gives me the pattern I want during the session time, I like to buy this. And it's quite clear that look at the liquidity resting here. Look how flat this is. There. Start anticipating your buy model. There. And then obviously whatever. But I like these to be taken quite clean. So I'll see what it does. I mean, if I miss the London Open and expecting up day, well, I'll let London Open do the work for me. Let it prove to me if it's up. If it does whatever price action look for during London Open, then all I need to do is pay the continuation during New York Open, don't I? And as long as the dollar index is following as well, then win-win. So that's what I'll be looking for. Is that clear on the dollar CAD? But like I said, I'm only going into next week looking at the euro really, and cable obviously. But I will look at the others. But euro is my main focus, and the others are just like, if the euro does give me, then I'll have a quick look at the others, because obviously price does change as market goes open. I mean, whatever I say now, I could be completely wrong. So this is why I don't really like it. But when it's something like, I really do like this euro. I really do. I think the top's in. Personally, I hope the top's in. I do think the top's in. And if that's the case, then I'd like to quickly get on board. And I like it to get on board, and I'd like price should go down ahead of ECB, because ECB could be a big trigger. It often is. You often get like wild moves at ECB. So something's gonna happen regardless. And so if I can get my stops to break in ahead of ECB, that'd be perfect. And then ideal scenario, boom, all the way down. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be 400 per week, but get something out of it anyway. So I'm gonna stop the recording here. Aussie dollar and New Zealand dollar, I'm not even bothered with. I don't know. Aussie dollar looks bullish to me. It is in this weekly bearish block, but there's no sign for me to short this just yet. Similar goes for New Zealand dollar, possibly high price. So I'm just looking at it. Maybe later on it'll give me something clear, but I have no idea if the Aussie dollar is ending or not. I mean, it looks bullish as fuck to me. Look at the weekly, man. Look how bullish that is. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But fiber and cable are the main ones. So I'm just gonna close the recording here. Okay. So that's